Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the tent.
Yes, welcome back to the tent on the roof. Now we are in our 6th week of lockdown here in Spain, and unfortunately it looks like it's going to go on for quite a bit longer.
Yeah, things aren't changing. Although they're getting better in Spain, the lockdown is still going to be in place for, well, at least the next month.
Yeah, we think.
If not longer.
Which is obviously very difficult, but we're managing okay. We still haven't got to see the van. We still haven't seen Vinny, which is quite sad. But hopefully the restrictions will lower a bit so we can have a little bit more freedom soon.
Yeah, so apologies for the flappy tent. It's a bit windy today. We've been up here a week, but we have had to abandon the tent a couple of times due to extreme weather conditions.
Yeah, you'll see in our last video, if you haven't seen it, we'll just put a link up here, our second kind of tent video, that we did have some bad weather, very bad weather, and it's kind of been a bit off and on all week.
But anyways, this week has been very special because it's both of our birthdays.
Yay! Not on the same day.
No, we're not twins.
We're not twins, but we do have birthdays 6 days apart, so we celebrate all in 1 week.
So Sarah had her big birthday a couple of days ago, and it's mine in a few days. So we thought we'd best do something special. What could be more special than our first live feed?
Yes, so our first ever live stream, we're going to do it on Sunday, this Sunday in a couple of days time. We've decided to do it at 5 PM UK time, and yeah, it should be really good fun.
Yeah, should be good. Be gentle, be kind.
Yes. But anyway, today's video is not about tent life, it's not about live feeds. Today's video, we're taking you back in time. We filmed this before lockdown, so when we were in the van, and we feel like the subject
is quite relative to how things are at the moment.
And how they could be in the future of van life, perhaps.
In today's video, we're talking wild camping in the middle of nowhere, out in nature, on your own, no one else around, out in the sticks and off the beaten track.
And is it safe?
We generally prefer to park on our own, sort of away from people, and find our own little secluded kind of spot.
Yeah, there's several reasons why we like doing this. Well, there's lots of reasons. Peace and quiet is the main one. We love just being on our own and just listening to the sounds of the nature. Also, we've got 2 doggies and they can just roam and be free and not bother anyone and not getting into trouble and not eat any kind of stuff that's left behind by others. Yeah.
You can also, you know, shower outside your van naked if you so choose, and you know, go to the toilet, go and bury your business. So you know, you've got the whole of nature outside your door is your playground sort of thing, and it also feels more an adventure, don't you think?
Yeah, just going off on your own into the wilderness is quite an adventure. We know it's not for everyone, but we do like to do it. We do like to just escape everything and find secret kind of little hideaways with no one else around except for us.
There's also the plus that you can pie until the early hours, put your music on as loud as you want,
and no one's going to tell you off.
No, we don't
really do that. We're too old for that.
But every now and then it is nice to mix with fellow travellers, other van lifers, and catch up, share stories, share a campfire and that sort of thing. But generally we do like to find our little wild spots.
So how do we find spots like this? Now, this particular little spot, it's not on any app, it's not on Park for Night or anything like that, and a lot of the ones that we do find like this aren't on the apps, and they're the really good ones, because you know that no one's going to come and intrude on your kind of privacy, if you like. I mean, we got quite lucky with this one, didn't we?
Yeah.
So this spot, for example, was just a little pull off from the side of the road down this dirt track. The road, a quiet road, is about 150 metres from where the van is parked, and it's just perfect really. We followed the little dirt track and we found a lovely flat surface with an outstanding view looking out over to the coast.
Now many people have asked us, we carry walkie-talkies in the van, and do we ever use them? And yes, we do. They come in handy when you're trying to find somewhere, when you're trying to check out a wild spot. So quite often I'll just park at the end of the lane, Sarah will go down, investigate it, take the walkie-talkie and radio back to me if it's okay to drive the van down there. So as we mentioned, This spot itself isn't on any app, but generally most of us use apps to find place to park up for the night. You know, the main one being Park for Night, and then you've got iOverlander, Camper Contact, and various other ones. But the thing with the apps is everyone else uses them.
Yeah. So we have stayed at lots of spots like this and had the whole place to ourselves so many times by using Park for Night, because there's so many park ups on there, and obviously, you know, there's loads of spaces to go around everyone.
A lot of the spots you find on Park for Night will be empty or just 1 or 2 vans, which isn't too bad. So it does depend on the area.
And the time of year you go.
Apps haven't been around forever. We travelled around Australia and New Zealand for nearly 2 years without them.
Using any apps whatsoever, and that was just a case of just actually going and exploring and going to find the places yourself by using Google Maps.
Google Earth, so you can actually see the terrain.
Looking like where there's a river or where there's a
lake,
source of water,
reservoir,
that kind of thing, and just driving down and seeing if there's somewhere to park. Now we're going to talk about the safety aspect of staying on your own with no one else around.
So some of you may not be keen in staying in spots like this for a few reasons, mainly security, but then also like the legalities. Can you actually legally stay there?
Yeah.
And then what happens if you're staying somewhere secluded and you break down?
Yeah. I think the most worry that people would have about staying somewhere like this is you're isolated. You're on your own. What if something happens? And there's all the kind of like stuff that you think about or could go through your mind, like the boogeyman's gonna come and get you, you know, someone's gonna come
with an axe and kill you, or bow and arrow shoot you out the bushes, or like take you away, you know, kidnap you and then take you away and then torture you in some like cave or something.
Or even get abducted by aliens. So
or your van's stolen, all your stuff in your van, and then they just leave you somewhere naked.
Yeah, there is all these things, but come on, let's think about this. This is only things that happen in the movies, right? I mean, look, don't get me wrong, I am quite scared of the dark.
Yes.
Seriously.
I have to go out with her most nights.
Only a few, sometimes.
When we're in the middle of nowhere, and I always say, I mean, there's no one here, so what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
you know?
but sometimes it's so dark because you are away from any towns and street lights. It's so dark outside, and my head starts playing games with me, and that's it. I'm like, love, you come out with me.
Someone's going to come out the bushes.
Yeah.
A lot of crime, most crime happens around
All crime
towns.
really happens around towns and in the cities, isn't it? Let's face it.
And if not in towns and cities, criminals are probably going to target places where they know lots of vans and people are going to be staying overnight.
Exactly. I mean, you've heard the stories, you know, for example, there's been quite a lot of incidents of motorhome air stops in France where people have even got gassed, I think, and people have broken into the motorhomes and vans while people are asleep in the back. Motorway airs, I think, are one to be avoided in certain places. So crime and things like that does generally happen where there is people. So when you're in somewhere like this, there's nobody there to cause any crime.
That's the thing, and if you do park up, say on Park for Night spots with loads of other people,
who's to say they're not going to do something to you?
They could actually be the ones who are going to, you know, rob your van or do something to your van. So you're worried about someone coming and doing something to your van and thinking, oh yeah, our neighbours will look after us, but maybe they will, maybe they won't.
And you shouldn't really let your mind get carried away with getting killed or bow and arrowed. although actually, flashback, when we were in Australia for like a year and a half in our van, we did have a movie, I don't know whether you've seen it, called Wolf Creek. Yes, and it's actually a true story. If we've got any Australian fans, they probably would have heard about Wolf Creek.
Now we had this in the van and we knew about it, and we decided not to watch it until we left Australia.
And thank God we did decide to watch it after we left Australia.
Yeah. Won't say anything, it's about... No, won't say anything.
Yeah. Anyways, like we said, it's generally in the movies when terrible things happen, isn't it?
Oh. Where did you come from?
Hey? You just crept up behind us. Okay.
So, another reason why people... What did you say? What should I tell them? No, okay. Another reason why people may be worried about parking in these wild spots is the legality. Are we legal to stay here? Is it possible? Or are we parking on someone's land? Or, you know, those sort of things. So we always go with, as long as there's no sign saying private property or no sign saying you can't park there, camp overnight, no motorhomes, all that sort of thing, then you're fine to do so.
Yeah. And I think also with that, if you are kind of parked where we're parked right now and we suddenly find out that this is someone's land, I think the person who owns that land will just come and kindly say, oh, sorry, but you can't park here. I don't think they're going to do anything terrible like call the police, and then you can just move on, as long as you don't, pull into like a ploughed farmer's field. You have to use your kind of noodle with it, don't you? This is like a dirt kind of track. It's like a proper hard solid road. We're not doing any damage to the nature by driving up into this spot. So a huge part of it is definitely also, in our opinion, respecting where you are and respecting your surrounds and the nature.
Finally, you may be worried about sort of the isolation aspect of it and breaking down. You park somewhere, drive off the main road and find a spot on your own and you break down.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's very true. What we do in this situation is we always try to have, it's not always possible, like some kind of signal on our phone. So even if we can't get data because the signal is weak, we, hopefully we can make an emergency phone call. If not, we do carry, we haven't got them at the moment, but we will be taking them again once we get new ones, bikes. Bikes are really great because if you did break down, you could actually then cycle to a point where you can get signal, or walk up to the top of a hill or something like that. Just be smart in choosing and deciding where you go, properly stocked up with food and supplies when you do go off into the wilderness, if you are planning to be off for days. Another aspect is you could say, oh, what if I suddenly got sick? What if I suddenly broke my ankle? What if I suddenly had a heart attack? A bit extreme. But, so you do have to think about all those sorts of things.
Can't worry about everything though.
You can't worry about everything.
I'd say walkie-talkies are really good as well. You park somewhere in the wild, if you get one of you has to go off for whatever reason, or you got no phone reception, it's just great because then you're keeping in contact. So
We've already talked about walkie-talkies.
I know, but it's another reason to
That's
use
another
it.
reason. It's true, it is another reason to have them. So get yourselves a couple of these walkie-talkies. We'll put a link in the description to ours. Ours are brilliant. You can go about 5 kilometres, can't you?
They're not just for kids. Now, we probably shouldn't be
They're
referring
ace.
to them as walkie-talkies.
Yeah, and they're really cheap as well.
Two-way radios or something. Walkie-talkies probably not the...
Anyway.
Anyway, so that I think we've covered like all aspects, the security, the legalness, and the fact that you may break down.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't let your fears stand in the way of your dreams.
Yeah, and we would completely encourage people to do what we do, and we hope that you don't have the fears like Nick says about doing it. As long as you don't take our spots.
Because of all the days we've had on the road, as I said, like 2 years in Australia, New Zealand, and we've probably done 2 years here now. That's like 4 years, and we've never had an issue.
And some of the best spots we've found are spots where we are completely on our own. Makes us sound a bit sad, doesn't it? A bit unsocial.
But then, saying that, one reason we may be so brave and just go anywhere is because we have 2 fearless dogs.
Yes. Now this is totally true. When we were in Australia, we didn't have a dog. Well, we adopted one later on, but that's another story.
It's a whole new story.
It's a whole new story. But we didn't have the 2 little dogs. We didn't have any dogs, so it was just Nick and I going off, and we were kind of new to van life. And I did used to have a bit of fear of places like this, completely on our own, isolated. I did used to get a little bit scared. As I said before, I'm a bit scared of the dark. And there was even some nights where I would kind of...
She'd have an array of weapons by the side of the bed.
But there were some mornings when I'd wake up and it was like, oh yes, it's daylight, thank God for that, we kind of survived the night. Or I'd wake up in the middle of the night and it was really dark, and then my mind would start playing games with me, knowing that we were, sometimes hundreds of kilometres away from people. When we drove through the centre of Australia, it was kind of like quite vast in the outback and stuff, wasn't it? So, nowadays I don't care. I'm quite happy, sleep really comfortably every night. And I think a big part of that is because we've got dogs. Because dogs are great, because they hear anything. Even if they're fast asleep, they hear anything. They hear every sound, and they wake you up before you would ever wake up.
Annoyingly so sometimes, because any little sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're perfect. No one could sneak up on our van. Not all dogs are the same, but yeah, our dogs would alert us to any sound.
Yeah.
And then they may be small, but they're fearless and can be aggressive. They're territorial about our home.
Yeah.
So that does give you peace of mind.
It totally does. I think we are so much more braver because of the dogs. Anyways,
But if you have a cat, I'm sure cats would be the same. Just throw it at them. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it useful and interesting. And the little horror stories you hear all the time, don't let them scare you, because if you listen to everything in the media and all the little stories, you'd never leave the house.
You wouldn't do anything in life, would you? Let's face it.
Yeah, the amount of people that are living this lifestyle on the road compared with the, you know, the nasty little stories you hear is very small.
Yeah. Let's hope that we've given you a little bit more confidence to maybe get out into the wild spots, and you've been a bit unsure, just go for it, because it is really safe, and then you do get addicted to finding spots on your own afterwards, don't you? It'll be really interesting if you could leave us a little comment down below and let us know how many of you guys do stay in spots like Nick and I and prefer spots on your own with no one around, or do you feel like you like to have someone else there, or you like to stay like in big group parking? I mean, how many folks stay at campsites only? Maybe you stay at paid campsites only with the facilities. So it would be really interesting to find out what you kind of do when you're on the road travelling.
We've got all about campsites.
We didn't
We
even
just don't even think about campsites,
do we? No. So yes, I think that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thanks for watching, guys.
And stay tuned. We'll see you in the next video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Can you see this pretty little thing behind me? If you can't, we're gonna have to adjust the camera.
Hello!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Hello! So today we are talking about